Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to more Birthright coverage for you here. We're winding our way towards the very end of the domain actions finally. So today we're going to do a 2-for-1 just because they're two very short abilities or actions and somewhat related. So we're going to jump into realm spells and look at research all in one for you today. So realm spells, as you might suspect, is a domain action with special successes and costs. Again, check out our series on the priest and wizard realm spells for info on that. So a priest or wizard regent can spend a domain action to cast a mighty enchantment that affects the entire province. Realm spells are a special type of magic that are available only to regent spellcasters. Without the power provided by a character's regency, a realm spell would fail completely. Realm spells can be used only in provinces in which the regent has a temple or source or ley line. So again, we did cover the realm spells in their entirety in 2 separate series. But yes, so if you want access to realm spells and you're not one of those characters, again, so like a thief or just a political ruler, right? It's definitely going to be good to cultivate relationships with whatever priests, whatever religion, and also any potential wizards in the area that are worth having that relationship with, that have access to some of these realm spells that you might need to do. Certainly keeping the wizards more in check, just with some of the more crazy things that some of those high-level realm spells can get up to. But having access to at least neutral or friendly priests and wizards is a good way to go. Certainly on the priest side, lots of great abilities there, but also the wizards do have access to some nasty spells that could aid the kingdom or the domain that you're ruling, but also just knowing what wizards are out there and having at least a wizard that's competent enough, or knowing a wizard that's competent enough to at least make you aware of like some of the threats that some of these maybe higher level spells can pose is key there. But obviously, if you are those characters, you have great ability to have these just awesome spells that cover your whole domain. Now, research is another character one like we've seen recently. Special success, but here it does have a gold bar of cost. Now, this is for wizards and priests. Basically, they can spend a whole month essentially studying and to perform spell research or create magical items. Again, follow the guidelines there in your player's handbook or DMGs, especially based on the edition that you're playing. But all normal restrictions apply. If the character in question is a regent, assume they have a laboratory and library at their disposal, right? So shouldn't be a question of them having to hunt or struggle to set up like ideal conditions to do their research. If they're ruling the domain, certainly they can have a library that they would have access to and a lab. So, but that could be a fun sort of bit of adventuring and domain ruling too. Is what if the domain's library just really is pretty bare bones and basic, similar to the way that you have to upkeep your court. Maybe it just hasn't been a focus over the years. That could be a fun one, not necessarily hiring a lieutenant, but hiring sort of a court librarian or just a major librarian. That could be a fun build action too. Building just a library for the realm could be, your own private one as the domain ruler, but maybe even something like building a public library, which probably wouldn't necessarily be that well known for sort of the general populace. So you could kind of introduce more of that as a concept as well, and that could lead to some fun situations too as you make books in mass available to the public. Creating like a large focus on how much literacy does your domain really have? So things like that, but also a lab. You could create not necessarily like a wizard's college type of deal in your domain, but maybe something like a sort of like an academy of sciences or something as well. And again, having a minister or character that will handle that, not necessarily has to be a lieutenant, but it could be. So, and that lets them maybe keep an eye on some overly ambitious people, or same thing with the librarian. If you get a lot of people that are coming to that library and researching certain topics, that that librarian could be passing that information on to you, like, hey, so-and-so's getting into some research on some, potential ancient history of the domain and things like that, or looking up things that they maybe shouldn't be inquiring about. So there's lots of neat little potential there for cool domain ruling and role playing, but then potentially some adventure hooks and other things that you would have to deal with. So all in all, even just a basic ability or action like this can lead to some fun gameplay. So, but let us know your thoughts on realm spells as the action and the research action that we've described today. Like, comment, and subscribe there, guys. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, check out our Patreon. We'll have early access content there for Birthright and some unique things that I think we'll essentially always keep on there. So a lot of good stuff, and that will also open up access to our Discord. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff on there too. So hit us up, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.